All right, we're live. What's going on, everybody? It's the Red Cup Review. It's Friday night, 7 o'clock. As always, please like and share the video or do whatever. And don't be a hanger-on. Subscribe to the channel. Tonight, we have an awesome, funny show. As you can see, my man Dan showed up in the bunny suit.
I am in the bunny suit. It's a must.
That's
I hit
awesome.
100K, so it's a must.
That's freaking amazing, man.
Yeah.
That was hilarious. I saw it on one of the other streams. I was like, yo, this is surreal.
It is.
So Dan, your experience so far since you've joined Comicsgate, has it been everything you thought it would be? What do you think of it? Like the community?
It's been awesome. It's been awesome. I mean, it's nothing like what the outside says it's like. That's one thing, you know. I've made a lot of really awesome new friends, people that I'm so grateful to have met. Their friendships enrich my life, and met a lot of fans, which are now my friends too. So it's been great. I mean, there's been some craziness outside of Comicsgate. Some vocal opponents to Comicsgate this past week that had some of their past dug up and made them look silly.
Oh boy.
Speaking of which, about a year ago, there was a guy that I discovered on YouTube, and he had about 100, maybe 100 subscribers, and I was like, wow. But I watched some of his videos. I thought he was articulate. I thought he was really good, and I was like, hey Rob, let's try to get this guy on the show, Yeah. And I gave him his name and his YouTube channel, and Rob kind of slept on it, and he never contacted the guy. But it turns out the guy was Pocket Jacks Comics.
Yeah, it's the same dude.
Yeah, Preston Poulter.
Yeah, my encounters with him were very early on when I had first started coming on to Comicsgate streams, and there was a mention of him. I had only seen one video by him because he was talking about this retailer that I knew, this guy Mike Wellman, who had he had threatened Ethan to kill Ethan or whatever, and I saw I saw his video discussing Mike Wellman and how Mike wouldn't carry his comic and some other things like that. And I thought, hey, like you said, he's articulate and had a way of presenting things. But for the most part, on that particular video, the only one I had ever seen, I thought the first part was accurate, and the other part I said, and I quote, I think he's talking out of his ass.
Oh boy.
That's all I said. But I don't know the guy. I mean, if I watched a video of a stranger, I would say the same shit because that's exactly what that guy was, a stranger. And he started popping up in my YouTube comments saying, care to tell me where I'm talking out of my ass? If you were a real man, you'd tell me where it is. What? I'm going to show you. I'm going to teach you a lesson. Like all this sort of like aggressive stuff. And I said, listen, dude, I said, let me take a look at your channel. And he had a video about that Star Wars girl, Anna. And Anna had just done a Vampirilla cover over there at Dynamite. And it was doing well. And Preston was working under the pretense that she only got her gig because she's a pretty girl. And I've seen tons of pretty girls that don't have covers over at Dynamite or have companies looking after them. And in fact, I thought they went and sought her out because she has, at the time, almost 140,000 subs on her YouTube channel, which translates, if you tell 140,000 people I got this comic cover, they're going to want to check it out. So it's strictly business. It had nothing to do with that she's a girl. So I replied to him. I said, okay, here's where you're talking.
Business had nothing to do with that she's a girl.
I hear echo.
So I replied to him. I said,
yeah.
Oh, that's me. That's me.
Yeah, I said, okay, you asked me to tell you where I think you're talking out of your ass. I said, in the first 3 minutes of this video here, and I pled the case, it's not because she's a girl, it's because she's got subs, blah, 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 blah. Well, he proceeded to call me a cuck. Then in Twitter DMs, he said, I brought this upon myself, that I asked for it. And I said to him, I'm like, dude, I've noticed you've got your own comic. You have a comic company. I looked at your channel. Why are you spending so much time going after Comicsgate? Why are you spending so much time going after Ethan? Why are you spending so much time going after people that are associated with Ethan? I haven't done anything to you. I have no quarrel with you. Why don't you just work on your shit? And he said, "Oh, now you've done it." Like, what have I done? Like, literally, like, it's these like weird scolds. And what he was doing is he was copy pasting my comments from YouTube and my DMs and popping them in his own timeline. But he was posing them out of context. Look at this Comicsgater. What do you call it? Concern trolling me? You know, and you know, all these people going, yeah, you know, and I'm like, wow, this guy's fucking nuts. Like, he literally like sought me out, dared me to comment on a video. I comment on the video. He proceeds to call me names, says I'm not a man, calls me a cuck. I'm going to learn my lesson, then tries to put me in his timeline, and I'm getting my timeline's filling up with his bullshit. So I basically went boop, block. It's the only person I've ever blocked in all of social media. Just boop, you're out. And didn't think anything of him. Nothing. Like, poof, vapor gone. Like, that guy's a fucking nutbag. Poof, gone. Then I wake up Sunday morning, and you know, we see all these videos of him. You know, I know you have your son there, so I'm gonna use the nice terms. He's in birthing position, being violated up the bum. Then in another video, he's by a woman.
A large carrot.
Yeah, and then in another video, he's having his gonads spanked upon with a paddle, and he's got to sing Christmas carols. And then in another video, he's with his wife, and then this dude named Leroy comes over, and then Leroy and his wife basically tell him what to do, and then she has sex in front of him, and he's got to hold her hair while she's going down on Leroy.
And bro, please.
Huh?
No, this is ridiculous.
No, but this is like, you just go, like, I literally woke up and was like,
is this real life?
No, I mean, if it was April Fool's or something, like, but it was literally, yeah, it just like, what dimension did I fall into where this guy who was harassing me, saying I wasn't a real man, saying I was a cuck, saying all these, I'm going to teach you a lesson things. And then these videos surface of him in all of the positions he was trying to pin on me. Yeah. And I'm like, holy shit, this guy's hypocrisy. This is incredible to me. It felt like, I felt bad and like it was Christmas at the same time.
Or Easter.
Or Easter. Yeah. So
yeah,
no,
it was a large strap on too, by the way.
Yeah, I didn't watch the video. I just saw pictures and things and clips that were safe. But man, it was crazy. So yeah, that went down this past week, and you know, there was a lot of talk saying, "How dare you shame him?" Like, whoever revealed it, "How dare you shame him?" Things like that. And I wrote a post. I just basically said, I don't think it's about like his kink. Who cares? Like, really, if that's how you butter your bread, then that's fine. You know, that's good on you. All that. Even if you want to film it and put it online, not for me. It's for you. Go ahead. But you can't actively harass people, calling them cucks and motherfuckers and not a man, and you're going to teach them a lesson, and then have this out. You just can't.
Yeah.
And and here's the thing, my story, this isn't one case. He did this to tons of people. He was calling the girls that are the ladies of Comicsgate a bunch of thoughts. I'm sorry, man. These are really good human beings. Let me ask you guys
a question. Again, I'm totally divorced from this whole situation.
Yeah.
Is it possible, based on all the information you had given me leading up to all this, that's part of his deal with whoever it is that's in charge of controlling him? You have to now out yourself to everybody, kind of like you have to kind of go after everybody to have this blow back on you. Like, is it possible that like this was?
You're talking conspiracy theory, like you have the.
humiliation.
This sounds like the Illuminati. What are you talking about?
No, I'm talking about like, okay, so like the woman that's doing all this stuff to him. Or
That
whatever.
was his wife.
Yeah. So what if part of his humiliation is to like destroy his relationships with comics people and be outed like this? Maybe
And
they're
he's like,
divorced.
and it just gets him so hard he can't believe it. He's like, for real? How long do I have to wait? You are gonna wait as long as I tell you. Is it now? Is it now? No. Yeah, what if, dude? That's a pretty that's a pretty interesting theory. Maybe
he might like all this.
he may be taking great delight.
It seems like he went out of his way to make a name for himself, as like a negative name for himself, and then all this just comes out. Like, who found this stuff? Like, who found these videos?
From what I understand, it was someone named Sheila Allen.
Yeah,
his wife.
No, not his wife.
No.
That'd be funny.
His wife? Who are we talking here?
No, she's a CG fan. That's like, you know, I've seen her in YouTube, chat rooms, different videos.
Deep digging, man, to be able to link one thing to another, you know, like that. That's
that's one of the things that I was thinking about. Like, how do you like? Are you surfing that smut and you see his face and go, "That's him. We got it." You know, like I don't know how it happened unless it was like I honestly, like, I don't even know how something like that would go down. But crazy. That it went down is what makes me crack up.
That's why that's why it to me, it's like almost like a red flag. Like, it seems like he's like bringing this upon himself almost, you know.
It could be.
Start shit with a bunch of people at a bar and not expect to get my ass kicked. To have something come out like this, it seems weird.
It does seem weird. It's very surreal, and like last week was surreal in many ways. Like, on a lighter note, I had Az from Heel versus Babyface on my show, and we ended up talking about G.I. Joe, and he's in England. He said, we don't have G.I. Joe, we have Action Force, and we don't have Cobra, we have this other thing, but we did have Destro, we did have Snake Eyes. And I'm like, how does that work? Like, they don't say Yo Joe, they don't say, like, how does that work? And he showed us pictures, like the Cobras are these dudes in red. They're not even like repaints or anything like that. They're a whole new thing. But Destro sure looked like Destro, and the vehicles looked right. It was like this weird sort of port over. And like, again, this was like either Monday or Tuesday. And I just thought to myself, this week is weird. Like that, it's like if someone took G.I. Joe and shook my head and you went, huh? And they're like, whoa, G.I. Joe's different. You know, and yes, weirdest. Yeah, this week is really weird.
Can you find that anywhere online?
Action Force, yeah, you totally can.
Oh, so it's called Action Force. It's not called G.I. Joe. Okay.
No, yeah, it's just called. And I was like, how do you do? Like, they don't go, Yo Joe. What do they? Action Force. Like, what do they say? You know, but the Cobra, whatever, I forget what they were called, but they were red and they had these weird helmets and like they were cool looking. They definitely looked more like bad guys. I always thought Cobra looked cool, you know? Like, I was like, man, those are cool
Cobra
outfits.
Are all, even the regular Cobra officer outfits, though.
Yeah.
They got those semi-ninja face masks. I mean, they were social distancing before we were, you know?
Yeah, they knew. Maybe they knew.
What was up?
Maybe Cobra created it, and that's how they had to just roll around, like, just being exposed to it.
Kev's Matrix says, so what's up, Doc? Crazy bunny costume.
Okay, so I think I covered this on your show last time, but the first day of my launch, right before I launched, I was on a show, and the host asked me how I felt. And I said, I feel like Ralphie on Christmas morning, wondering if the red or BB gun is there. And they said, yo, you need to do a pink bunny suit stretch goal. I'm like, what? They go, you got to wear the suit Ralphie wore. I said, oh, that'd be funny, you know? And I thought I was gonna wear it for a stream or whatever, and we came up with a goal. Oh, Jetsabel, you missed it. I see her super chat about the carrots. I'm gonna get to that. So we decided it was a stretch goal of 100,000. I didn't think I'd hit it. We did hit it. So now I have to wear it. I have to wear it either until we hit 200,000, which probably won't happen. But it'd be cool if it did, because then I don't have to wear this that long. But I have to, basically the deal is I have to wear it on every live stream, no matter if it's mine or like here I am with yours. I have to wear it on every live stream looking like a crazy person. And until we hit 200. If we hit 200, whoever the contributor is that moves the needle over, I'm sending this suit to them. They get it. But not before I bedazzle it. At 150, we're putting rhinestones around the edges of the ears and around that, so it looks like a really cool. But Jezebel. So the next stretch goal we had was at 115. What I hit last night, and I had to eat a pound of carrots. When we hit 115, we hit 115 last night. So today, and it's up. It's up. I said it's like the newest video on my YouTube channel. I ate the whole pound of carrots. I mean, I washed it down with 2 beers, but like that was it. I had to eat that whole bag of carrots. I'm kind of suffering right now. My stomach is a little like, yo, why? But I ate them. You missed it, but it's there. It's there.
You ate them raw? You didn't like boil them?
Yeah. I ate them raw. I like raw carrots though, but I didn't get any dipping sauce. But then, right around 2/3 of the bag through, the chat was feeling a little bad for me, and they said I could have peanut butter, so I used peanut butter to kill the rest of them.
Oof.
Yeah. Now you have a few issues of the original Black Flag series on this page, right? The Indiegogo.
Yeah, you could scroll to the bottom and download those for free. It's issues 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. You can download them and read them. You know, I wrote and executed that book back in 1994 and 95. So I was like 21 years old when I did it, and not as controlled as a writer. You know, the concepts are there and you get the basic idea. But I wanted to give this to people as a thank you for showing their interest, and also it's there for people that maybe are on the fence, like what's Black Flag and what's it about. And this is a way of like, hey, just download 5 issues. I mean, it's a good almost 100 pages of story that you can get into and check out and see if it's up your alley.
Well, I'm on the 3rd issue, and I was like reading this, and I was like, this is a nice way to like build the team slowly, and they're slowly coming together.
Yeah.
And I was like, who wrote this? I was like, this is really well done. So yeah,
I wrote it.
You did a good job.
Thanks, man. All I do is I see the problems, but that's the good thing about coming back to this book after 25 years and having the experiences I've had in the past 25 years, especially as a director and a storyboard artist, is I'm able to take those newfound abilities over the past few years and apply them to my newest work, which is just going to make it a lot better and crafted a little more carefully.
Yo, you said you took a break from comics for a while, right? You said you went on like some kind of 20-year hiatus or some shit, right? I remember like during the first time we went.
17 years.
17 years, right? But then you did storyboard work on like the Fantastic Four. I just recently this week found out you did shit for Doom Patrol.
Yeah.
So we had a really awesome conversation after we went live about the Fantastic Four and the Galactus thing. Give us that story here for everybody. Sure.
So I was one of the storyboard artists on Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer, and it was my job. The scenes I took on were some of the Silver Surfer chase scene, and then the Silver Surfer interrogation scene. And within the Silver Surfer interrogation scene, it was the revelation of Galactus. And I was very excited because they told me you're going to be drawing the coming of Galactus. And I was like, hell yeah, because I'm a big Kirby fan and love that stuff. And and also I'm a huge John Byrne fan. So when John Byrne draws Galactus, that's like my other favorite Galactus. And then Mobius also drew a wonderful Galactus. Those are like the Galactuses I love. So I was very excited by it. And the way it worked, because there's always a great degree of secrecy when it comes to these high budgeted superhero films, they only send you the pages of the script you're working on. And it's got like a big Dan Fraga like watermarked into it, so I can't even share them and that sort of thing. But I'm reading my scene, and there's like this description of this cosmic cloud of rocks and dust, and I thought I read it wrong. I was like, yo, it says that this is Galactus, like this big dust cloud. And I remember I called them up. I said, yo, I thought you said I was going to draw Galactus. I see this dust cloud thing, but is he coming? Is he coming? Like, that's like his dust as he's walking. Like, what is that? They're like, no, that's Galactus. I said, get out of here. Like, come on. They're like, no. And I was like, fuck, this sucks, man. Like, so I had to draw it. Like I drew the, all the rocks and dust and all that. It was one of those things where it was just like, man, you guys are doing this wrong.
Now, do you submit that stuff, or do you get to keep it?
I submitted digitally, and I did get to keep it, but I believe all that stuff was sold to a company called Heritage Auctions, and then somebody bought them. And I think on eBay, like, it was right before we moved out here to California, and I was clearing out boxes. So I gave a bunch of my storyboards over to Heritage Auctions to sell, and they sold for crazy cheap. Like, somebody bought, like, imagine buying 100 pages of storyboards for like $100, and then that's what they sold for dirt cheap. And then the guy is on eBay now flipping them at $50 a page. Wow. Which is a very smart move. Like, it's a smart move on that guy's part, but
Shit.
But that's where that stuff went. But yeah, it was just one of those things. I mean, that's the irony of every time I've gotten to do something I've wanted to do with other people's characters. Like, I always wanted to draw Spider-Man, and then they gave me an issue of Spider-Man to draw, and Spider-Man was in 2 panels. It was a story about Gwen Stacy's dad and her uncle. Like it was a detective story, a detective monster story. And I was like, okay, so I get to draw Spider-Man, an issue Spider-Man, but I don't get to draw Spider-Man. Fantastic. Or when I worked on Wolverine, he was in civilian clothes, and halfway through my run, they removed all the cigars that I drew in, because suddenly now he doesn't smoke anymore. So it's like these weird sort of, like, you get to draw Wolverine, but not really. You like, it's these
Wolverine,
weird things.
No cigar.
Yeah.
It's like you get to draw Batman, but it's a story about Aunt Harriet and her cat.
Right.
Detective,
exactly.
mission.
And there's like Batman's in one scene, like he swings by. You're like, okay, well,
the shadow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. What is it like working on Doom Patrol?
Incredible. It's a wonderful production from the showrunners all the way through. It's a very complicated show, a lot of characters, a lot of strange things happening in the scripts, but I have yet to have a bad day working on Doom Patrol. It's been amazing.
It's the show is so off the wall and crazy with crazy characters. I mean,
have you seen all of season 1?
No, I only seen Baz has seen it. I've only seen the first half.
Okay, so you've seen all of it, Baz?
Yes.
You know the one with all the butts?
Yes, the butt monsters.
Yeah. I drew that sitting in the hospital room while my wife was giving birth to my daughter.
Wow.
Yeah.
So next time I watch that episode,
I'm
going to see angry butts attacking people, and I'm going to think of Dan Fraga.
Yeah.
It's great. No, it's an incredibly original. I mean, there's nothing like it, and
it's a lot
it really
of fun.
captures the insanity of Grant Morrison when he's at his when he's unleashed,
when he's hitting it. Yeah, the new season comes out on the 25th of June, so you guys definitely want to check that out.
That close, awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Speaking of other shit too, we went. My daughter pulled me over, and I know you told me this months ago, but she pulled me aside and she's like, I want to see the thing on Netflix that guy, that artist friend of yours does.
Yeah.
This is about like the monsters or something.
Monster High.
Yeah, Monster High.
Yeah.
So we put it up. Yo, the first that first movie's pretty good, man.
Which one?
With her.
Which one?
The first one. She watched the first 2. I didn't see the
Okay.
second one. She watched the second one with her mother. I watched the first one with her, and it was like where they're setting up and you first meet all the characters and all that.
Yeah.
And I was watching. Did you work on that one?
The new Monster High.
No, this is like what do you mean like new version? There was only like 3 movies available on Netflix, like, and they were like an hour.
Well,
and
the
10
the one that the one called Haunted, I worked on that one. I also worked on the one called Electrified. I worked on Frights Camera Action. The one that I'm most proud of is Boo York.
These
Where
are
they
like episodes.
No, these were like 90-minute movies.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So the one about Boo York, which was a musical, the reason I like that one so much is I got to write a lot of the music on it, and there was a rapping character, and I got to write all his raps. So that I did directing duties, but I also got to work on the music on that one. So that one's one of my favorites.
Right. Okay. Because I was watching the first one with her, and I'm like noticing all these little things. Like in the beginning, like the opening credits, there's like they introduce you into like Castle Dracula and stuff, and there's a little spider that's like swinging around on a web vine doing
Right.
Spider-Man moves. And I was like, "Yo, this." I says, "I didn't know if you had worked on that or not." I said,
I might have.
I said,
That one.
little Spider-Man. I says, "Look, it's right out of the like, you know,
Yeah.
I'm watching a spider do Spider-Man shit."
There was 2 versions of the movie Monster High. There was I think like 16 that my team and I did, and then there was a big shakeup at Mattel where they moved a bunch of us over, and that's when I moved over to Hot Wheels. So welcome to Monster High, and another one I didn't work on, but then I followed it up by working on it was called the Ghoul Squad, which was almost like a Scooby-Doo Monster High sort of thing where they were rescuing like a Monster of the Week thing. But I think that was strictly episodic.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, she liked it. So she's like, we watched the first 2 movies. They like mini movies. I thought they were episodes. I thought this was like a season. This is like
Yeah.
legit movie.
She would probably also like Ever After High. I did that one. That one is the sons and daughters of fairy tale characters.
Yeah.
So you have Apple White, she's Snow White's daughter. You have Raven Queen, who's the evil queen's daughter.
Like, what can I get?
It is on Netflix. So if you look up Ever After High, I worked on all of those. And the one in there that I'm really proud of is one called Epic Winter, where I was asked to design the villains, Jackie Frost and trying to remember Jack North. Yeah. So those characters, they were just a good time to help create, and did a lot of voice casting, and it was good. So a really great time.
Man. That's friggin' awesome. Baz, any collectibles this week?
No, nothing.
Yeah, me neither.
The streak continues.
That no one watched. Yeah, it says like Baz is going. It's the Metallica song, the toy review that no one watched. Some shit before we went live.
That was what? Which one? The
Baron Benz.
Baron Benz. Yeah. Nobody watched that.
I got like 120 fucking views on it, man. It was because everybody else that did their shit because they shipped them out in small, medium, and large, and then extra large, extra large. So because I'm an extra large, everybody got theirs first. So everyone that had like thousands of views on their videos have already did their fucking reviews, because apparently these dudes are like maybe mediums and small shirt size guys or whatever the fuck it is. But anyway,
do you want to look at some stuff?
Sure, let's check it out.
All right, but you got something, Baz? Because I got some shit up too.
No, you first. Oh, Dan, by the way, check this out. This was your first published work, right? Zero?
Yeah. That's an interesting story behind that too. When I originally was recruited to come to Extreme Studios, I was supposed to work on a book called The Odd, and what it was a retelling of The Wizard of Oz, where everything was sort of through the filter of like Extreme Studios. You know, you got this Dorothy, who's this like sexy badass. The Tin Man was like a Iron Man type guy. The Toto was a wolf. Straw Man was this sort of creepy, crazy guy. The Lion was like a sort of ferocious, feral, big guy. The flying monkeys had machine guns and like looked really cool. So that's what I was supposed to be doing when I moved there. And when I got there, I don't know what had happened, but they killed the project, and I had absolutely nothing to work on. In fact, I was like, I almost felt like maybe I'd made the bad decision of doing it, you know, like moving down there. I moved 8 hours away from where I grew up and only knew 2 people, you know, when I moved. But what I did is I just started working on my own stories, and I had this story called Delta Strike, and Delta Strike was it was basically Universal Soldier before Universal Soldier, where, you know, once they got killed, they got put on ice, and then they were rehabbed and put back into missions. So I had written this story about this guy Dutch Gamble, who kind of went against the line of what was supposed to happen, and they crack his neck, and then they're going to turn him into a soldier. And I was about maybe 8 pages into this thing, all blue line, like the sketches, like not completely finished. And at the same time, Rob was working on Youngblood Zero, and I don't know what had happened. I don't remember how Peanut Butter and Chocolate got together. Like, I don't know if, you know, I don't know how I don't remember how it got together, but what ended up happening is Rob said, "Hey, this is kind of in line with the story I'm working on. How would you like these 8 pages to be in Youngblood Zero as your first published sequential work?" And I said, "Yeah, but like, how does this have anything to do with Youngblood?" And he was like, "Turn that guy into Die Hard, turn that guy into Cabot, turn that guy into Chapel, you know, keep your guy, and we'll have them do all the same action. We just need to basically skin them in these characters as these characters instead of those characters." So I did. And then that got inked up by Danny Mickey and got put into that book, and the rest is history.
Wow. Nice. Awesome. That kind of sounds like Bloodstrike, though, no?
It does, sure.
So was that your idea first? Like the Universal
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I believe in something called idea space.
Yeah.
And idea space is if I said, "Yo, man, I'm gonna come up with a song about peanut butter and jelly and how me and my girl are peanut butter and jelly," and then somewhere 1,000 miles away from me, some dude is like, "Girl, I love you like peanut butter and jelly," and she's like, "You should make a song," and we're both working on it, you know, and next thing you know, peanut butter and jelly is on they both hit, or one of them hits, right? One of them hits, and some guy goes, "God damn, that's my song, man. How did that guy know about my song? Somebody heard," you know. Nah, man, it's like there's common things. Like the idea, like to me, the idea of having an expendable that is basically refreshable, I think isn't like a super novel idea. Obviously, if I had it, and then Universal Soldier had it, and then, you know, Rob had it, I don't see a problem with it, you know.
It kind of reminds me, going back to Doom Patrol. Doom Patrol and X-Men came out in the same year, and they both featured leaders of the team who were in wheelchairs and having an odd cast of characters as the
absolutely
heroes.
Right. That's a very, very awesome observation for sure.
I'm fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Look at this head sculpt. What do you think of this, man?
Wait, that's a sculpt?
Yes. Yeah. That's a Hot Toys 12-inch.
There's a little. If I was to give my directorial notes on that, there's a little bit of goofiness happening in the eyes.
Really?
Yeah.
Let's see that.
Yeah. Zoom in on the eyes.
Let's get an eye shot here. Hold on. Where the hell are you? I think I just. Here we go.
That's where it falls apart for me, is in the eyes. Like as we face her, the eye that's on the left side is like kind of nidged in on the nose, and the other eye is kind of looking over here. So you got one going, got one going here, and you got another one going there, and they're not quite lined up.
Symmetrical wise, you're talking?
What's that?
Symmetrical wise?
No. I'm talking about the pupil position.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be an issue. That is an issue with certain collectibles. They have this thing where not so much with Hot Toys, but periodically Sideshow has that issue where like characters will have like the slight Morty Feldman thing going on.
I don't know who Morty Feldman is, but if it hasn't.
That's the guy from Young Frankenstein.
Oh,
Igor.
shit. Oh, my God.
Igor.
A slight. Yeah, this has very slight. really cool. I mean, that's some stunning work on the wings. I mean, the armor looks good. The posability looks pretty awesome. But yeah, I'm real crazy about faces when it comes to toys. Like, I don't. The only one that I have that's a likeness, my older brother gave me this Game of Death Bruce Lee toy, and that thing is, like, to me, pretty spot on.
I think the Game of Death Bruce is that that might be Blitzway.
No, I think it was a Hot Toys, because it came with like a little screen. It came with like this little bamboo reed and some broken.
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yes, that was one of the early DX figures, I believe.
Yeah, it was a real stunner. But yeah, I mean, this is pretty cool. Also, the skin is a little doll-like too. Sometimes I think paint jobs on faces need a little more translucency.
Right.
But I mean, this is the thing, man. I'm the wrong guy to ask opinions of sometimes, because like I'm hypercritical, and working for Mattel for 5.5 years, and basically my job was to quality control, not only story-wise, narratively, but I would have to look for little issues,
Right.
But this is like, I'd say 90% there.
Yeah.
The hair is great.
The issue I have with, and I know why they went with the rooted hair, because it lends itself to a little bit more realisticness, and it has like you could pose the head around and shit because of it. But I don't mind my toys still being toys, so I kind of like the sculpted hair, because I just think that it becomes too Barbie-ish and almost like do I really want like an ultra super realistic thing in my house? Because then I have like a mini Madame Tussauds. I don't know.
Right.
It's supposed to get like creepy-ish a little bit to me at one point.
Right.
Well, I'm not good at styling like doll hair, so once the haircut gets out of whack, I'm fucked. My figure's fucked. She looks like shit.
Then you got to buy beeswax and learn how to like fucking work it in there and shit.
No, it's too much.
I think what they're trying to do is basically give you the shrunk down version of a person,
Yeah, exactly. No, yeah, I'm totally with that. I do get it.
This is their best attempt at Gal Gadot, though.
Oh yeah, no, this is their best version of her by far, as opposed to the other heads that they went with.
Did you ever see the bell for the Beauty and the Beast?
Yes.
The toy that looked like Justin Bieber with a wig.
Yeah.
That shit was hilarious.
Yeah, man. Some of them, I don't know, they're hit and miss with the girl. Most of the guys are pretty on point, though. Their Leias are pretty good. The Princess Leia ones have been pretty good.
They have a tough time with Scarlet Witch. I mean, not Scarlet Witch. I'm sorry. Black
Widow. Yeah.
Only the newest Black Widow, the one that hasn't even dropped yet, looks pretty damn good.
The one I would want, like I would have a hard time like not spending money on, is if they had like a Linda Carter that was at this level.
Oh, we've been dying for that, man.
Shit. I would talk to her. I'd be like, "Hi, I've loved you for a very long time."
Well, because we have Christopher Reeve. They made Christopher Reeve. That we have Michael Keaton. So
that's okay. I need the Michael Keaton one. I've seen that. That was one of the ones where, like, because that movie hit me. And as far as like comic book movies, that one, kind of set the standard back in '89. So I have a big love for that one. This is cool. I mean, you got your Sith Darth Maul.
Like, I'm for the statue collectors have been going ape shit over this. Is why I pulled it up. Like ape shit over this.
In a good way.
It's no, as in good. Like oh my god, instant pre-order. I very rarely use that term, instant pre-order. Fucking all gotta get it right now type mentality.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm seeing people throw those lines around like left.
Yeah,
and right.
$610. Is that like an average price for these things?
That's the thing. No, because this is only 1/5 scale, right? So the 6th scale of the I'm sorry, not 6th scale. 6th scale is a hot toy, right? So if you've seen a hot toy, you know that's 6th scale. It's 12 inches.
Yeah.
These back here are 4th scale. This thing is 24 inches, 24, 25 inches, something like that.
Okay.
And that's 4th scale. So the character itself is in 1/4 scale, and then the base just kind of adds to it. This thing is in 5th scale, so it's much smaller. Not much smaller, but it's like the next size down,
Yeah.
And the last few 5th scales that they put up, and it wasn't even that long ago, were like anywhere between $450 to like $500 like $60 for like the really big characters. I think Thanos is like 560 or some shit.
Whoa.
He's fucking huge, right? So $610 for, and this wasn't even like going back years ago. This is like pre-orders that just went live for 5th scale, for 1/5 scale statues, like a couple of months ago. Guys are like, oh, you're comparing them to prices 8 years ago. I'm like, no, I'm comparing them to the Thanos they just shown. That was like 2 months ago, not even 2 months.
Yeah.
Ago. And 610 for this is a little nuts. This is getting into like the price range of like these things now. The
Right.
ones are like,
Interesting.
some of them aren't even that expensive. Some of them aren't even $610. Some of them are like $550. You know,
Yeah,
so
that's
this
pretty
is like,
pricey, man. That's pretty
that's
pricey.
really pricey. I mean, but these guys, you're talking about guys that spend like $1,300 to like $2,000 on a statue. I just think that that's fucking outrageous. Personally,
Whoa.
more power to you. But this is just, I don't know. I think that, like, yeah, it looks cool, whatever. I mean, I'm not the world's biggest Darth Maul fan. I'm seeing guys go
Yeah.
shit over for guys that are fans of him. He comes with the switch out head, which is pretty cool. His base is cool. He's like cracking the the Palpatine statue and shit. So I guess that's pretty
That's
cool.
neat. Yeah, that's kind of neat.
And he comes with this alternate head where he has like, I guess he's all, I don't know, Wolverine Berserker raged out, I guess, with the horns and shit.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It looks cool. I mean, design wise, it's nice. It's
Yeah.
pretty cool. I guess if you're a fan of the character, that's cool. But
I am. I was really bummed out that they aced him the way they did in Phantom Menace. I was like, yo, this guy's so cool, and you just fucking,
yeah, from a design wise, he's really, really awesome. I can't.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a fan of the prequels, but for how could you not be a fan of like Darth Maul's? Like, he was the best thing about that movie, really. So.
He's great. Yeah, is that what Ian McCaig, I think, did some design work on him?
But so there's other.
It takes a lot of suspension of disbelief to have him come back, though, considering the way he died, chopped in half and falling down that giant friggin' shaft. It's just, I don't know.
What was that Batman and Robin there?
Yeah, no, I'm gonna go back to that. I want to get your opinion on this head sculpt, since you're like mad critical.
Yeah,
1,299.
Yeah, this is my favorite female. This is a 4th scale statue. Oh, 3rd scale. So this is even bigger. This is like,
is the costuming real cloth?
Yeah.
Okay, let's take a look.
Here.
Whoa.
Yeah, she's my favorite sculptor in the industry. Her name's K.A. Kim. She's the from overseas, and so I don't know what she's Asian, I know that, but I don't know.
Yeah, dude. Let's see some more. I mean, that hand is fucking awesome. And are these posable? No,
this is just a straight up statue.
But the clothes are cloth.
Yeah, the clothes are cloth, so you can kind of like, there's probably a wire in the outfit, like, so you could have it like blowing out a certain way as far as like the jacket goes.
This is A+. I mean, these look like photos of Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah,
this is A+.
She's friggin' incredible. You got the Bronx stairs too. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But, we've looked at this before last week, but I wanted to get your opinion on this. I want to get a close up of the head. They have like 100 friggin' shots.
Did it raise in price since last week?
No, it's
look at that, crazy, dude. That looks like a publicity still.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah, and that hair is not rooted hair either.
No, that's why I'm saying I like sculpted hair, man. So sometimes I just like the, if you're a really good artist, you can get like crazy, detail in the hair and stuff,
Yeah.
Like you can put different hues in it and shades. So you have like 2 different shades of green going on and shit. Yeah, so
that's excellent.
He comes with a bunch of like switch out hands. You could have the gun and the the bag and all that shit is, So
yeah, wow, look at that. Can you zoom in a little? Let's see how the paint looks.
That's about as close as you're gonna get. I mean, on my screen, he's huge. It even has like bloodshotness in his eyes and stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah. I got nothing but good things to say about this one. This one's lit.
Nice.
What did you think about the movie, Dan?
I was underwhelmed. I didn't care for the movie. I heard all this like, yo, it's so good.
What did you think of his performance?
His performance was fantastic.
Right.
I just thought it kind of made a generalization about mental health. I've got family members that have that deal with that, and I don't know, it kind of trivializes some of the stuff.
Right, I hear you. What did you want to see? You said the Batman. What with the kids?
No, for some reason, up on the upper right, I thought that Darkseid and Wonder Woman was Batman for some reason.
Oh yeah, no, it's Darkseid of Wonder Woman. That's a pretty cool statue too. We were looking at
Yeah.
this one last week.
The proportions are a little weird, though. I would rather Darkseid's head be smaller in relation to his body. You know, it's like he's supposed to be Thanos big. You know.
Right. I mean, he's fucking towering over Wonder Woman here. This is awesome.
Yeah, but yeah, that's awesome. Fuck that.
Right.
That's the best part of that statue. Holy shit. But no, I'm just saying if his head was slightly smaller, it would give him a more imposing. He would look more Hulk-like.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
His body would actually look bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, look, he's in a. I think that shit looks dope. I get what you're saying too, though. I think it looks.
Oh
great.
well, I mean, great sculpt, but like this is a proportion thing.
Yeah, this is based off of the art by Ivan Rice.
Okay.
Same
Oh, that's
thing.
why. So they're basing it off the artist proportions.
Yeah.
You got Red Sonja there. That's cool.
This is a new This is a new line coming out, Baz. I know you. I'm sure you've seen this.
Hordak.
They're doing the.
Oh, is that what it looks like?
Yeah, it's a 6-scale statue, so it's like 12 inches, 12 to 14 inches tall.
Oh, that is stunning.
Were you with Mattel when they were doing the Matty Collector line for Masters?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh shit!
But
Oh shit!
But I didn't work in the toy division. I worked in content, so I was on the teams that made all of the movies and the shorts and things.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Here's the hold on, let me get out of this for a second. I'm fucking juggling.
Is that full figure or just like belly button up?
No, I'm gonna show you the full figure now. And we're gonna go to share screen again, boom, and
we used to have such a fucking hard time ordering those figures online.
Mm-hmm.
Like they would go on sale like 12 noon, and you go to order it, and lots of times you get the white screen of death.
Yeah,
and it was like a chore. Sometimes it took a half an hour to an hour to order a figure through the website.
The only thing I got from the Matty Collector is I got myself one of those Back of the Future hoverboards.
Ah, nice. Those are cool. Yeah.
It didn't work. I was
of
real
course.
sad.
Did you know Scott Knightlich or Knightlich?
No.
Did you know him?
No.
Okay. Yeah, he was the head of the Masters line.
That's
here's
cool.
The full body shot. I don't know if you guys are getting that in full screen there.
Yeah.
So you got like a cloth cape that's like probably got a wire in it, if I had to guess, and shit. The base has like that bat symbol on his chest wrapping around looks like a steel pedestal. You know, it looks
What's
pretty
going
dope.
on up his leg? Is that like a claw grabbing at his nuts? What's going on there?
Where are we talking on the which way?
Near his leg and crotch.
This right
Red.
here?
Yeah, what's going on right there?
That's his like loincloth. So it's like his belt.
Okay, because with the red of the cape, it looks like something coming up and under.
Right. No, yeah, that's his.
I see it now.
The only problem I have with and I'm like a huge Tweeterhead fan, man. Like I love their stuff. They do like the what you call it, the superpowers line. They have a superpowers line that I'm collecting. But the only problem is that every fucking statue has the same pose, and I get it. Like I got attacked. I got fucking slaughtered on the Tweeterhead fan website this
Was
week.
it the point, the heroic point?
Yeah, like the one leg up, the Captain Morgan pose kind of. I mean, he looks good here. Don't get me wrong. I'm not like, I don't want to be a super nitpicker, but like their Batman has that pose. The Robin has it. Green Lantern, Darkseid. This character, it's like, am I just going to collect a bunch of statues that all have the exact same pose?
That's horrible.
When I was popping off about it, Chad, who owns Tweeterhead, was like, "Oh, all great points, Rob. You'll be happy in July or some shit." And I was like, "Yo, Chad," I was like, "I'm not snapping on you, bro." I says, "But like Green Lantern has the same pose, and I want to get into all the line, but I kind of want to like you got to mix it up a little bit,
Yeah, unless there's like the Holy Grail toy, and you could put them all in a circle pointing up at that same toy, and then that toy is right there,
right?
And it looks like they're like giving it dap,
right?
But that thing would have to levitate.
Yeah, man. So it is what it is. But the whole new Hordak thing looks pretty friggin' awesome. Guys, what do you think of the Hordak review?
Now, like you said, the same like you get a car and you get a car. I don't know. Doesn't do it for me either. Yeah.
Yeah.
Once you put that in my head about the pose, like that's it. That's all I see.
It's over. It's done. Right.
So,
the design though itself of the face and all that other shit though is really nice. I mean, their paintwork is pretty damn awesome. So.
And I like the Masters. Like to me, all the Masters of the Universe characters should be blocky.
Yeah.
So like he's kind of like thinned out, a little bit more of an athletic build.
Right.
So in my mind, they're all like fucking jacked Arnold Schwarzenegger type body types. So
yeah, that's cool.
So it's okay. It doesn't appeal to me. For those reasons.
Fuck these collectibles. We have some shit to talk about, and I want to get Dan's and yours particular Baz's opinion on this shit that happened this week. First of all, this week was the 40th anniversary of Empire Strikes Back, the greatest movie of all time. So, anybody want to say maybe their favorite scene of the movie, or maybe their something that they did when they saw that for the first time, or any of that shit?
Well, obviously the big reveal of Han meeting Lando. I'm just kidding. The big reveal of Darth Vader being Luke's dad was like when that movie came out when I was 6, almost 7, and I was like, "What? No, what? Huh?" Like it fucking broke my brain. I was like, "Huh?" I was like, I thought, pray that I don't alter the deal again. Like the whole thing where Darth Vader is kind of like changing the deal that he had with Lando. I was like, this guy is not only bad, he's like dirty bad.
Yeah, that was fucked up, right? I was like, shit, going like changing the deal. What the fuck, bro?
Yeah.
You can't do that in the Bronx. What the fuck? You get killed.
It's like he doesn't play by street rules. Like Darth Vader is above street rules. Like he's so dirty he doesn't even play by street rules.
Then he fucking tortured Han. Remember he was torturing him with that electrocution friggin' machine?
I feel terrible.
That was intense.
I mean, dude, there's so much shit. Like you're in the snow, you're in space, you're on the Death Star or the
Yeah, they were in the belly of the giant space monster and shit in the asteroid field.
That's right. You're on Bespin.
Going on in that movie. Yeah.
You're in the Cloud City. You're not on the Death Star. Death Star was gone. I was thinking of Jedi for a second. But you're
Yoda fighting R2-D2 over a fucking Twix bar.
Right. You're on Dagobah. Dude, there's so many like places that you go, and there's so many great scenes. Like I remember the first time meeting Yoda, going, what the fuck is this guy? Like, let's get to Yoda already, and then when you find out he's Master Yoda,
you go, I'm Yoda, motherfucker.
Yeah, it's basically how it laid it down. Oh, judge me by my size, do you? It's like, fuck, man.
Thanks, Jay. People are asking about Black Flag toys. Oh boy.
That would be nice. Black Flag toys would be very expensive to do on my own, as you guys know. Like, getting the sculpts is one thing. I know a lot of really fantastic sculptors, but like the tooling and the all that other stuff is like, it's one thing. Like if I wanted to get that kitschy market where I do it like an old Kenner toy where it's just 4 pivots or 5 pivots with a head and then the arms, do it like the old school Kenner shit. That would be one thing, but I don't know. In my mind, I see them being cool. Like, like a Marvel Legend or like a Todd McFarlane style toy. So it'd be very pricey. Yeah, unless I partner with somebody. I've already talked to Todd about it, and Todd likes my characters. He likes me, but he needs there to be a demand. That's the main thing that Todd's looking for because he's a businessman. He didn't want to sell. He didn't want to sell 100 toys. He wants to sell 50,000 toys.
So with the not the Kickstarter, fuck Kickstarter, the Indiegogo that you got now, that campaign, would that be proof of demand in some way?
Well, slightly, but not enough. That's the thing is he's not gonna look at the number. He's gonna look at the number of backers, and then he's gonna treat the backers like individuals, and of those individuals, he's going to, probably cut down a percentage of, like, not all will back it, and that sort of thing. So
what about kickstarting or indie going like a statue or something, like maybe
that is absolutely plausible.
Yeah.
In fact, I have a buddy of mine, Jason Krager, who's an incredible sculptor working on an 8-inch gorilla right now.
I was
A
gonna say,
gorilla bust. It's like, from belly button up, and it's looking amazing. It looks like one of my drawings where he's at right now. So we're working on that. I have a merchandising partner that we'll put it together.
That's cool.
Yeah,
That's damn cool. Baz, your girlfriend Ruby Rose has left Batwoman.
I'm too fucking hairy for Ruby Rose.
I don't know, bro.
your voice is too deep too.
She might be the Butch. What do you think? That they're just going to recast the role? Isn't that kind of weird, recasting the role of the main character on a TV show?
I saw some random tweet that they were thinking of the Johnny Depp's abuser, that Amber Heard lady.
What?
That can't be. If they're going to get rid of her for Aquaman too, why would you just throw her into another?
Like I said, it's a rumor.
Yeah,
I know that, like, what's her face is campaigning for it. Sonya Deville from WWE is campaigning for it a little bit. There's a couple of girls, one girl from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, I think. But
I never seen an episode. I've never seen it.
Well, think about it. It has like a 13% on Rotten Tomatoes audience score.
Maybe it's not Ruby. Maybe it's the writing. I mean, that maybe, or maybe
I don't think it's her either. I think when she was announced, I liked her, man. I think she's hot.
I liked her in Orange Is the New Black. Oh, I gotta kiss a baby. You going night nights?
Oh boy,
I love
you. Good night, buddy.
That's my little girl. I love you.
Awesome. You get all things here on the Red Cup channel, even some cuteness. It's awesome.
Jason Bascom says it's crap. It's crap.
Oh, okay.
It's a show is just woke garbage, but I thought
that's a bummer.
Great. She looks cool in the outfit. It's like over the top wokeness, though. This is another thing I'm noticing too, and I kind of like. I feel as though Twitter is very much a confirmation bias echo chamber of whatever it is you like. You know, because I was noticing that there is like, I'm the type of dude that's I like The Last Jedi, but I hate SJW stuff. I like I hate pandering, but I like certain things that may be considered pandering. And I'm noticing that certain people that I follow, it's like everything is SJW, everything. And it's like, dude, like one guy had pointed out, this guy Heroic Geek or something I follow was like, this is ridiculous. Like there's supposed to be sexual tension in the new Wonder Woman movie between her and Cheetah. Like they're like between Diana and Barbara. Okay. And I'm like, and what's the big deal with that? And he's like, this is ridiculous, lesbianism and everything. And I was like, dude, she lives on an island of Amazons, bro. You don't think she was getting down like her entire life, but they're all just celibate over there? You know, and a lot of people were like, we've never even thought about that. That's never even crossed our minds. And I'm like, come on, man. Like, I know, like, there are certain political things you don't want to think about when you're reading comics. There are certain things that I think are just so blatantly obvious.
Yeah, and my whole thing is like, why is it even coming into the story? Like I never go into a party and be like, hey, how you doing? Yeah, my name's Dan. Yeah, I totally love titties. You know, I draw comic books, and yeah, ass is bomb, bro. Like I love fucking pussy.
Well,
and you know,
you might watch the movie and see them like kind of subtly flirting with each other, and that's such a big deal. I don't know. Like, wouldn't that be just?
I don't think it. No, it's not a big deal, but it's also like not necessary. Like unless it's a story point, like unless you build, like let's say you build a relationship between Cheetah and Diana, and suddenly Cheetah's put in danger or Diana's put in danger, and you know the reason for their position on a certain situation. You know, they're going to go extra out of their mile because they have an extra care and love for that person. Like that makes sense if you're going to do it. But if it's literally just to be like, oh, and by the way, like it's stupid. It's inauthentic. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like if it's irrelevant to the narrative, then it's not authentic. It's literally checking a box.
And then for weeks or even months on end, they'll market the movie as like, "Ooh, Cheetah and Wonder Woman have lesbian overtone," and that's all they'll talk about.
Well, that's what they're doing, though, and it ends up becoming. It's not even about the issue anymore. That issue is collateral damage. Let them fight over the issue. They're talking about our movie. You know what I'm saying? Like it could be as simple as that, because you're right. It doesn't matter. And it doesn't matter so much that unless it's part of the narrative, it doesn't need to be mentioned. Right. That's what I'm saying. Like unless like if it's part of the narrative that the only time at a party I would say, "Nah, I love pussy," is if some dude was like, "Hey, you're a handsome guy." And I'd go, "Bro, I'm married. It's okay. Does she know you're married?" "What?" "Nah, I love pussy." That's the only time that it's necessary for me to say that. So like for me, so unless it's part of the narrative, it's not necessary. Oh, it gives her character. No, it doesn't. That doesn't give someone character.
What if it was none of us have seen the movie yet, so I'm going under the premise that they're just out at dinner talking, and maybe they're like flirtatiously bantering with one another. That's normal human interaction. It's not saying, "Well, hey, I like you," like.
Sure. I mean, but that boils down to what I'm talking about, authenticity.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's all it is. Like for me, like I don't care what's happening as long as it's authentic.
Right.
But when you get characters like Safe Space and Snowflake and those characters from a few months ago that had everybody all twisted out.
That's ridiculous. That's a whole
but that still boiled down to authenticity. Because there's nothing wrong with having a non-binary character as long as as you aren't making that their character.
Right. Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That is the problem. Like I always say, they're stressing our differences and not what brings us together, or what makes us alike, like character and integrity and heroism. They're stressing the superficial stuff.
Yeah.
Right. All right, and before I say this, I want to somebody asked me to give a shout out to everybody in the chat this week.
Yeah, definitely.
James Belk said, "Make sure you say word up to Dan Lee and Baz and everybody else because he can't watch the show anymore, so he's catching them on the replay now because he's working Friday nights, and he was like the OG of Red Cup OGs. I think he won our first contest over here. So.
Dang, well, big ups to him, dude. Damn.
Yeah, he was like, "Oh, tell everybody said what's up." So word up. There you go, James. You got yours. It was nice talking with you during the week, by the way. Okay, we were supposed to mention this. This was in the goddamn title. I always the problem I have on this channel is I always say, "Hey, the show's going to be about this," and then it's never about that. What is that?
Don't worry about
it. Awesome. Oh, I know what it was. All right. So,
that was Leroy.
Snyder Cut's coming out. Does anyone give a shit?
I don't.
Me and Baz are huge DC guys. I know, Baz. I know a lot of people do. I'm kind of like, all right. It seems like is it too little, too late at this point? I know that there's like a whole thing going on now where they're like, "Oh, is Ben Affleck going to come back?" And then they're going to recast everybody back in their old roles again.
Don't you think it's weird? Don't you think it's weird? You know what I'm saying? It like opens the door for like the new Ayers cut of. That's
the next thing. They already said that the Ayers cut is coming of Suicide Squad, and now this other
So they're selling us as moviegoers. They're selling us variant covers.
Yeah, there you go.
They're selling us repaints.
Yeah,
but if there's a market for it, I mean, enough people rallied for the Snyder Cut to be reissued.
I'll tell you what
there's been different cuts.
I'll tell you what it tells me.
Yeah.
Our other one sucked. Come see this one.
Oh, it did. It did.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is what it says to me.
Right.
The other one wasn't good enough. We fixed it.
Yeah.
The fuck you put the other one out for?
Yeah.
Because they've miscalculated. I mean, say what you want about Man of Steel and Batman versus Superman. There's people that liked it. There's people that didn't. It had a certain tone. Okay, and it had a director with a certain style. It had a composer with a certain sound, and then they come out with the third movie, and it's totally different in tone. And they replaced the composer, and it was a different style of movie. Yeah. So it didn't match up with the first two.
Right.
And that was a large part of the problem.
Carrot time.
So now we get to
They're
see the
doing it,
original
dangling the
vision of that
carrot.
movie.
Yeah. I mean, that's what you would say. Like, we get to see how it was intended to be made. Because I know Zack Snyder went through some family stuff with his stepdaughter and everything. But I don't know, man. Like, the only time I want to see anything is like, if they fixed Game of Death. Like, if they fixed Bruce Lee's Game of Death, that would be cool. Like, I would love to see them fix Game of Death. If they did a fix of The Crow, like where like, they essentially like fixed all the bad replacements, that would be kind of cool because they were cool movies. But like, what's your position then if you go, well, what's your continuity now? Are you saying that original one we watched and spent our money on and bought the Blu-ray of and bought the toys of and all that shit, is that the canon or is the new one canon? And if the new one's canon, you're telling me that I wasted my money on the old canon. This is me subjectively, my thought process on it. Make a new movie. I don't know. Like, if it's as simple, from what I heard, it's a lot of reshoots, right?
Yeah, no, it's like going to be like a completely different movie.
No. This is how it is. Zack Snyder said that if you saw the original Justice League, that you only saw about 1/4 of what he did. And I heard that there was like 70% of the film was reshot. That's Joss Whedon. He reshot the movie 70%. So it's a different film.
What are you saying? What are you saying about that? Are you saying is that stuff thrown out? Does it exist and this new stuff is supplemental? It's a weird.
I'm fine with them throwing it out. Actually, yeah.
So you're good with them throwing it out, but then what is it? What I mean. Does that make you happy as a fan, or does that, or do you? How do you feel about?
I'm finally getting to see the original vision. So yeah, that's like they had the Donner cut. Remember with Superman 2?
Yeah.
Yeah. So eventually,
I got multiple cuts of Blade Runner, multiple cuts of Brazil. So yeah, I'm super familiar with like director cuts of things. It's just, I don't know, to make an event out of it.
Well, that's everything nowadays, dude.
Yeah,
that's everything. But what I think is funny is that now that they're talking about the Ayer cut, right, of Suicide Squad, which is going to be a different movie now, and then they're going to have the Paul Feig was like, oh, we got the 3.5-hour version of the female Ghostbusters, and it's like, oh Jesus Christ! Now we're gonna have like see what happens when you invite the.
No, but the thing is with Ghostbusters, there's nobody fucking asking for that. There's nobody. Who the hell wanted the original in the first place?
I got
nobody wanted this
5-hour version of Tootsie. It's like it was good. I love Tootsie, but it was good right where it was, man.
Yeah, I'm cool. Look, man, it's just something else, I guess, to look forward to. I mean, I don't know. I guess
I'll look at it, but I mean, I didn't like Man of Steel. I didn't like Batman vs Superman. I know. I'm not talking to the wrong guys, but I didn't.
No, hold on, because I have a love-hate relationship with Man of Steel. I love that movie, but to me, that's still not Superman.
It's not.
Like I have an issue with Superman in that movie, a big one. But I loved the movie. There are certain aspects of that movie that I really enjoyed. The way it was shot. We finally get to see Superman punch things and do powerful stuff. Finally,
fucking Jor-El was badass in that.
I'm not a fan of Snyder's voice, to be honest with you. Like,
you didn't like 300?
300 is the only thing of his that I like, but he was riffing on Frank. I thought Watchmen was okay. I mean, I liked it. I didn't love it. I thought Sucker Punch was like a very long demo reel.
Right.
You know?
I think Zack Snyder does really good splash page work, but his sequentials are not good.
There you go. That's a great way of putting it.
Yeah. And I feel as though at certain times in his movies, he sacrifices the sequential work to build up for that splash page is coming, and it's going to be glorious, but at the expense of all this other shit that's going on,
Amen.
We're gonna have Batman driving, shooting machine gun fire, killing bad guys in the Batmobile, destroying parts of Gotham City, and then Superman's gonna show up for that one-on-one awesome confrontation, and that little 30-second scene with the two of them for the first time is great. But are you trying to tell me that Superman allowed the fucking terrorists to get away that Batman was shooting at and attacked Batman instead? These guys were shooting rocket launches in fucking Gotham, and he just let them go.
Right.
So it's like the sequential part makes no sense, but the payoff is nice. But it's really, how could the payoff be nice if the sequential parts don't build up to it properly? And
I'm having to make sure that my standard for Black Flag is escalated because I don't ever want it to be that.
right. Well, there you go. I mean,
Yeah.
like, you know, this type of conversation with somebody that creates comics and shit, kind of, you know what we're saying here, you know?
I do.
Well, this is some of the stuff you'll see in the Snyder Cut. You're going to see Darkseid. He's in at least 2 scenes. He's in the beginning. Is that when all the old gods are fighting the new gods when Steppenwolf first comes to planet Earth.
That was
so
I remember seeing Justice League and going, "Wow, I just want to see this part." Like,
so he's in that scene, and then also at the end when Steppenwolf is defeated, Wonder Woman actually decapitates Steppenwolf, and his head rolls over into a boom tube that's opened, and you see Darkseid, and he's looking at the heroes, and it ends like that. So you're going to see Darkseid. You're going to see a jailbreak with Deathstroke getting Lex Luthor out of prison. You might even have a fight between him and Batman.
Oof. Okay. That's cool.
So, yeah. That's possibly Tomare, and this is according to Kevin Smith that saw some of this. Tomare and what's his name? Kilowog from the Green Lantern Corps show up and talk about.
So have they have shot this already, or they are going to shoot it?
This is stuff that I heard was already shot.
Huh.
So
interesting.
It's like they almost like butchered the movie and put out a different movie, basically. You know,
right?
Yeah, he was filming it to be two movies, and they split it into. They put it into one. So
I hear they're completely redesigning Steppenwolf, where he looks more like a demon wolf looking creature now.
At the end of B versus S, yeah.
Yeah, so that's
so it's a different design.
That's going to be weird. Like they're really going to be putting a lot of CGI into just inserting a new CGI character into the movie, basically altogether.
Crazy.
Okay, you're going to love this guy, Jason. Last Jedi, as much as it was not top level, was the better of the Disney Star Wars.
I'm putting that up. I love this man. I like the Disney Star Wars.
I know. We've talked about this. Star Wars is dead to me, and you know this.
Yeah. I can't have these conversations with anyone. Apparently, I'm alone.
It's okay, man. You're supposed to like what you like.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Again, there's certain shit you just can't. You can't put your mind to. It's like even Baz goes, but you like the fucking Last Jedi, but you don't mind this shit, or you don't like this shit, but you like that shit. And it's like, look, man, sometimes you just gotta fucking, I don't know.
Well, this is. I'm a weird dude. Like when I go into a Chinese food restaurant, I always order their chow mein. Like if it's the first time I've been there, because like if you don't get the chow mein right, then there's something ain't right. Right. Yeah. When I meet a man who likes The Last Jedi,
Hey, listen, you decided to come fucking back on here, bro.
No, I love you guys. Of course, man. I love you guys. I'm fucking with you, dude.
All right, Dan, you're a big Spider-Man fan, right? So
yes, sir.
Like, what was your favorite of the Spider-Man movies, and who was your favorite actor?
Amazing Spider-Man. Spider-Man 2 with Tobey Maguire and Doc Ock. I thought that movie was well put together. I thought the character portrayals were good. It was chock-packed with different storylines, the Harry Peter tension, the Peter Mary Jane stuff, all the stuff with Doc Ock. I felt it was great. Of course, I thought the weakest one was the one that came afterwards. I thought Spider-Man 3 was god awful. I enjoy Tom Holland, but I like him in other people's movies more than I like him in his own. Like I thought in Avengers, he's great because he's like a spice, but on his own, I feel he's not. I don't know. I feel like the spirit of everything that I liked about Spider-Man growing up as a kid, all the Ditko stuff, the Ramita stuff, Ross Andru, Gil Kane, all the way up to McFarlane and even Larson and Bagley.
He did well, right? He put you in almost like a modern 1960s Spider-Man movie. It was it felt like you were watching something that's current, but you're looking in a time warp almost.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
It felt like, I'm using this word a lot tonight. It felt very authentic.
Yeah.
Where the Andrew Garfield stuff, I have to admit, I've never watched them entirely all the way through because I can't. Like, I don't. Like, I'm just like, I don't buy you as Peter. I don't buy her as Mary Jane. I don't buy, I don't buy these characters as the villains. It felt like a high school play version of something that I wanted. But Tom Holland, I like him, but I don't. They spent an awful lot of time with him not being Spider-Man. I don't know.
That was the problem I had with. It's funny, Spider-Man 2. When I saw the first Spider-Man, the first Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, I loved it. It was like, and to this day, it still like has that Superman, the original Superman feel.
Magic. It's
magic in that movie. And no, really in that I want to say almost the trilogy, but even though the third one was bad, the third one still has his little stamp on it.
Yeah. Well, I'll definitely.
That's the Superman 3. That's the of the bunch,
Yeah.
But I was watching Spider-Man 2 and I watched it recently, especially the director's cut. Not semi recently, within the last.
There's a director's cut.
Yeah, it's director's cut. It's good. It's much better. Yeah.
There you go.
You're talking to Sam Raimi one?
Yeah, Sam Raimi director's cut.
No, dude, that other one was perfect. Like, if you're saying the director's cut is good, I want to check it out.
Now
it has like extra fight scenes, like during the the clock tower scene. Yeah.
So the issue that I had with Spider-Man 2 when I first saw it, I wasn't prepared for that type of a movie. And I felt as though the way you described your first issue of Spider-Man was the way I felt watching that movie. Where the fuck is Spider-Man? Why am I watching Peter Parker talk to his fucking mechanic about his libido?
Right.
That was the problem I had.
Right.
He talked to everyone in that movie about not being able to get it up, but whatever. But it was very well done, and Alfred Molina crushed the shit out of it.
100%.
He fucking owned that role.
Yeah.
Now Garfield kind of like, to me when I first saw it, like he didn't come off as like Peter Parker. He was like too cool.
Right.
Spider-Man
he was like
Peter Parker.
He was a good Spider-Man. He had some jokes, some banter. He had the attitude. He even had like a New York accent somewhat. But as Peter Parker, I thought he was too cool. But then I looked back at some early Ditko Spider-Man books, and Peter Parker had quite a fucking temper. I mean, he had the temperament of like a fucking school shooter sometimes.
Wow.
Like, he was like, he'd be burning up. He's like, "Damn you, Flash! I'm gonna kill you!" Like, so maybe like this idea of Peter Parker being a nerd is something that's just like grown over time and kind of like in our consciousness, but it's not really true. Kind of like with you, Rob, when you remember that time we went to a club and we pull up and this guy walking on the street looks at Rob and he goes,
"It was his girl." It was the girl that said it. It was
the
guy and the girl. Yeah, and the girl turned to me and was like, "Are you a scientist?
Are you a scientist?" Just because he had glasses on, he
I
looks
was
a little
like, "Why?"
nerdy.
She's like, "Well, you're wearing glasses." I was like, "Oh, that's the prerequisite for science now. It's just you're wearing glasses."
But also Garfield had the height too. He looked kind of like almost like say like the Electric Company Spider-Man.
Peter Parker is supposed to be 5'10", 155 pounds or something.
Right, but sometimes
155, like 135 pounds.
But even the comics, they draw him a little bit taller. He looks a little bit, like his.
He's supposed to be wispy. If you look at Marvel Universe, I think he's 5'10", 135 pounds. He's like not a big dude.
Right.
Right. So
the
But how tall is the other guys like Toby and
no idea.
They're short dudes. Yeah. The fucking Holland is a short guy. He's like my size, like 5'7".
Yeah, 5'7", 5'8". Yeah. Okay. So
I didn't mean to insult you. I say he's 5'10", and I say he's not a big guy, and you're like, I'm 5'7". I'm like, God damn it.
No, well, I'm like almost 175 pounds.
Oh, okay.
35 pounds. Yeah. Well, whatever, man. That's fine.
Peter Porker.
Peter Porker, Spider-Ham. You guys remember Spider-Ham?
What'd you think of the Spider-Verse movie?
I loved it. I think that was the first time I felt like there was a real handshake between comics and movies. Like,
yes,
it felt like it used comic book vocabulary to tell a story on a movie, like with the panel switches and just the way introduce characters and transition into things. So fucking cool.
Yeah, the only
That's
problem
like as soon as I saw it, I was like, Rob, dude, you got to see this movie. It's a love letter to comics.
The only
Like,
problem I had with that movie, and this is like just something that it's like inherent to me, I guess, or something, is that I felt like I was having a seizure watch it. Like the colors were so vibrant and like flashy that I was like, yo, this is like, I'm getting bashed in the head right now with like CGI color explosions and shit, and it kind of fucked me up a little.
I like that shit though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're an artist, That's kind of
Yeah.
your thing, man.
Also, my movie theater serves alcohol, and I had a couple bourbons, so it was really awesome.
Oh, nice. That's fun.
And Peter B. Parker, Dad Bod, was fucking cool as fuck.
Yeah.
Going through a divorce,
There you go.
being
What's
miserable,
wrong
out of
with
shape. I mean,
Voltron?
things we can
You're
relate
like
to.
fucking Voltron to take on you tall motherfuckers. I'm 5'7", 160. I can pick up heavy things. God damn it.
You can. Yeah.
My man Jason.
That's cool.
Hold on. By the way, the other night you had on that guy from NSYNC.
Yes.
Chris, right? Kirkpatrick.
Yeah. Yes.
We were trying to get you to ask him about Star Wars because
Yeah,
during
he was in
Attack
the
of the
prequels.
Clones.
He was in one of the prequels. Yeah.
So they filmed it. Was it in the movie?
Yeah, they filmed it. It was during. I think it was during the. I don't think it was the first one. It was like the third one.
No,
like
Battle of Genosha, the Attack of the Clones.
Right. There you go. Exactly. Yeah, I think they were just background guys. They didn't get like it's Justin Timberlake. Otherwise it would have been distracting. I think they were just in the background as like, guys going to town with lightsabers.
Yeah, they were Jedi. So
Yeah,
the whole
they
band?
they definitely fit. Yeah, all of them. Yeah. I mean, it's not like they were all together going like this and then like cutting people, Yeah.
That's cool,
Yeah,
man.
no, I remember when he went because he sent me an email and he's like, dude, I'm at Skywalker. So they filmed their stuff at Skywalker Ranch.
Can you see them if you try to look for them? If
I
you watch
doubt
the
it.
movie?
I think they're just background dudes.
Right.
Yeah, and it was because Lucas's daughter was a big NSYNC fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
good shit, guys. I got fucking wrestling to watch.
Oh, damn that wrestling.
I know. I'm like 23 minutes in. Grayson's be like, you missed the whole goddamn thing. I gotta get ready for work too. I got work tonight.
Right on.
Yeah, it is.
Well, I'm going to be heading over. You guys know Peter Samedi over at Alterna?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go talk to him around 9. Going to go catch up with him.
Nice.
Like you said, I'm like the bunny. I'm hopping all over the place. I'm on my stream, your stream, their stream. Say what?
So you better watch that shit.
No, here's the wonderful thing, man. I don't get into this thing until I've had a shower. So this thing, it's the wonderful thing about this is it's super clean. It smells good. As soon as I take it off, I hang it up. So there's no funk.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So when does the campaign end?
Well, we finished our first 30 days Monday. So we're going to see where we're at. I may extend it. I may not extend it. Really what I'm trying to do is get to 150. We have that stretch goal at 150 to do the 0.5 issue, which I really want to do. There's a lot of artists that I want to work with and supplemental material and pinups and things that I want to get into people's hands so they can see these artists and also get to know my characters a little better. And when we hit 150, we're adding it to everybody. Anybody who ordered a book gets this free. Like it just gets popped into their package as another book.
Nice.
Yeah. So, and then if we hit,
go back this shit on Indiegogo, man. Come on, Black Flag. I want my extra comic book.
Heck yeah. And if we've already hit the stretch goals where now it's prestige format. Now there's a fold-in poster. Now you get stickers. Now you get extra. Well, at 125 you get extra trading cards. At 150 you get the book and the rabbit bedazzled. And then at 160 we're going to add a whole different poster. Hold on a second, real quick, guys. Hold on. I need to grab this.
Yeah, Rob. Read the what's it called, the free PDFs. Black Flag, man, it's really good. And I'm talking to a chair.
The lights in my room started flickering. I got like electrical fucking issues now down here.
Oh, great.
Oh, anyways. So
yeah, check it out, dude. It's really good. The
no,
original
I'm
Black
gonna
Flag.
want to
Yeah.
read that shit before I read the obviously before I read the new book. I'm gonna want to read that. Hell yeah. I started reading the X-Men Grand Design trade. That's
Mhm.
like mad hard to even hold. I feel like I'm holding like a giant fucking coloring book. It's great so far. I'm like 15, 20 pages in. It's pretty awesome. So I'm digging it so far.
What do you think of the art?
It's nice. I like it. I like the old school.
Sorry about that,
kinda
gents.
It's all right.
What do you got?
I have a favorite character in Black Flag too, Raiden. That's
I
my
love
boy.
Raiden. He's awesome. You're gonna be very happy. You're gonna be very happy. He's
Cool.
in a lot of
Awesome.
this story. He's essential to this story. Let's just
He's
put
an
it that way.
essential.
He is essential to this
I
story.
love how the characters are all like different, and they all come together
yeah.
on the team. And
Yeah,
Geisha is
man.
hot.
She is. Just wait till you see her her motorcycle transformation scene. Her
Nice.
armor pops up off of her body and reconfigures, snaps back onto her, and forms a motorcycle between her legs.
Shit.
Yeah, it's gonna be bananas. I can't wait to draw that.
Are we going to have the same amount of upskirts shots that we have in the original?
That's not my fault. That's Pat Lee's fault. No, I mean, here's put it this way. I'm not going to do anything gratuitously except for doing what I do. So there's going to be a lot of loudness, a lot of bullet shells, a lot of sexiness. I mean, like when she transforms, we will see her in her lingerie. But again, like I'm not going to just she's not going to just go, let me pick this up and then show you her butt, and like it's never going to be that. But it'll be like one of those things where if like something, like let's say something zooms by, and if she was wearing a skirt, the skirt would blow, go up. That's my thing. Like I said, authenticity. I always want there to be a legitimate reason for things to happen.
Don't you know that women are supposed to be wrapped in saran wrap and garbage bags and fucking burkas and all kinds of shit nowadays?
I did know that, and I don't care.
Are some of the villains coming back, like Black Rain, Hellfire?
Hellfire for certain. I'm not going to tell you anything else.
Can't. This is
Cool.
This is one of those things. Like, I have so much faith in this story that I'm not giving it to you. I'm just going to tell you in the beginning of this, there's a sinkhole in the middle of Dagger City, and this monster that looks like it may or may not be coming from hell is basically eating the city. And that's all I can tell you. If I gave you any of the villains, if I told you like, where's Spot? People keep going, where's Spot? Where's Spot? If I even like alluded to where Spot was, I'd be fucking myself. So I don't want to do that.
awesome. Indiegogo.
Wow.
When I go to find them, I just go to Indiegogo and type in Black Flag. That's how I find it.
Yeah, very easy to find. There's only one Black Flag on Indiegogo.
It's awesome. Guys, take it easy. Everybody in the chat. I didn't get a chance to kind of do the roll call and shit, but there was a bunch of you I've never seen before. So thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
Again, please consider subscribing. This is a toy collectible statue, whatever the fuck, action figure type channel, but we also do stuff like this periodically. So come and join us. We're live every Friday night, mostly at 7:00. Me and Baz talking shit. And obviously, Dan is like a fucking regular here now. He's like,
we need a Pink Bunny action figure rocking a boombox and a microphone.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah.
Optional glasses. Hood comes off and on. You get the goatee version and the clean shave version heads.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Take
man.
care, everybody. We'll see you next week.